Okay. I'm not gonna go like this. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. Oh, wait a minute. What's that? Just had it. Okay. All right, everybody. Sunday night. Let me let everybody kind of file in, so to speak. My goodness, what a weekend this has been. One moment. There we go. Okay, there's Robin. Yes. I have new details, folks. New details. Did speak to the chief. I'm going to let everybody kind of file in. This has been quite the weekend with Hopkinton. And I want to tell you the latest. There's Ann checking in, everybody. Excuse me. I want to I do want to give you some of the details. There's Kayla. So I don't know what that means. Where have you been? We were on live yesterday. Thank you, Taya. We were on live last night. I don't know what that means. Maybe I'll ignore the comments tonight. That's always sometimes a good idea. Now, if you check thepedro.com, I did speak with the chief, and I do want to answer. I think it's fair that some people have some questions. I did. After I spoke to them, listen, they're dealing with a very difficult situation. There's so many parts of this that are just so difficult. Again, if you do check thepetro.com, we have the new details. There he is. That's what he looks like. Wow, just horrible. I also want to touch on, folks. I want you to understand that, and I kind of address this with the subscribers. And by the way, we're going to start to do more subscriber-only content. So I think it's worth it. I value the subscribers. Listen, obviously for stuff like right now and other stuff we do general public, but other than that, I don't understand these people that are saying like no one should be talking about it. And what if the children, listen, the children should not be on my page right now. All right. I'm sure they're devastated. I'm sure they're grieving. I want you to understand. There's some people I don't expect to understand. Like, so I just saw someone knocking me. You should be talking about mental illness. You should be talking about a cookout to raise money. Like, we don't even fully know what happened just yet. Let me explain something. Everything we go to, there are people that say, you shouldn't be filming this. You shouldn't be filming this shooting. You shouldn't be filming this accident. You shouldn't be. If I followed that, then we're not, we wouldn't be doing anything. And that's ludicrous. What on the flip side of this, we don't know all the details. I should be organizing a cookout on mental illness. We don't even know what happened yet. This is horrible what happened. And the more details I've learned, how he apparently used a key to get into the house and they were sleeping. And by the way, there were the two children, and then there was a friend there. There were three children in the house. This a total lunatic loser who I put the police report. And now there are people upset that I put the police report for May. I don't know what to tell people. It gives, listen, we don't know everything that happened. One thing I know is there are some people, whenever something happens, it's so frightening to them. They become an ostrich. I put today, if you know Joe Francis, if you've worked with him, send me information. We're trying to learn. Has this been an ongoing thing? Let me explain something. This just didn't happen. Okay? This just didn't happen on Friday night. There was a pattern leading up to it. And so we try to figure out what exactly happened that then led and brought to Friday night. Much like the situation in Maine. That guy, there were a lot of red flags. That guy was a ticking time bomb for quite some time. I don't relate to these people. Shouldn't even be talking about, he just wants Clay. You can always say a politician, he just wants votes. You can always, an athlete hits a home run. He just wants a big payday. Tom Brady throws a touchdown. He just wants a big cut. You can always come to that. But then you step back from, yesterday I didn't know if this was a big story. I didn't know if it was a big story or wasn't a big story. I knew it was a story. I knew it was unusual. Now, a couple things I want to walk through that we've learned. And again, there are some people. How do I get listen, if you're on this page, I'm not wound up actually. If you can't figure out how to navigate to the website, depetro.com, then you don't belong here. I'm not even upset if people leave. You don't belong here. Go somewhere else. But we're not running a nursemaid here. I'm not here to hold your hand and update you. We're posting the information as we get it. We've had more before anyone else. We still have more details. The police report is very significant. And it talks about his actions. This guy was difficult. They got called out. Domestic in progress. Phone call from a granddaughter and a juvenile. The mother, Stephanie Francis, being attacked by the father. On arrival, 2 individuals are in the driveway of the residence. This is on depetro.com. Where can I read this? What is this? Like I'm not running a leper colony here. 2 individuals. Joseph Francis, this was May 21st, started aggressively approaching the officer. Joseph said, "You're trespassing on my property." I advised him it was police business or a call that they had received. He continued to be very uncooperative and stated everything was fine. And we got to the bottom of it. During the time I observed, Stephanie was visibly upset. Checked on her well-being. This is the officer now, stated she was okay. He began walking away towards the rear of the residence, uncooperative. I gave him verbal commands to stop. Joseph then shouted, "Get blank F," at me as he continued to walk away. He was walking towards was dark and unknown. Listen, where's this guy going? Hey, buddy. After a few minutes, I was able to calm him down, myself, and they rushed towards him, gave more commands, stop, uncooperative behavior. They had to taser, they deployed the taser, pointed in his direction, stopped and turned around. He then complied, detained, secured in handcuffs, brought to the prisoner compartment. A few minutes, calm him down, explain why I was in handcuffs. Then he apologized. Tell me your side of the story. He's upset. Wife supposedly involved with someone. Advised utilizing online dating sites, attempting to meet up with various people. So that's what he said, by the way. As a result of that, he smashed her cell phone on the floor of the garage. He said it didn't get physical. He advised it's been going on for some time. He lost it. He says he pays for a cell phone. He's allowed to break it. Parents arrived on the scene. Now, again, this is all on depetro.com. They filled out a witness statement. Then the report was a cyber harassment. Tried to take the notebook of the wife. So here's what I learned from the police. This guy was certainly a problem. And very difficult when the police arrived to try to calm everyone down. Stephanie brought them to 2 unsecured handguns located in 2 separate locations of the residence. High-capacity magazines, 40-round capacity. I'm not supposed to have that. He's brought back, booked, domestic disorderly conduct, vandalism, simple assault. large capacity magazine, and then they go through the whole thing. So now here's what I have learned, and if possible, I will try to answer questions. Now, I think it's yes, that's exactly right. Now, what we have since Learn and I have learned is when he left there, he was not on foot. So, like several people, there's Caroline. Happy birthday, Caroline. I apologize. I was late with all my birthday greetings. Happy belated. There's Joanne. Um, exactly right, Kathy. So here's just so you understand the rendition. And again, if you go to or log on to petro.com, the state police did put out a statement. So he gets into the house. Now, this is, I'm going to tell you because we run a program and it's for adults. Right now, as I'm talking, this is not for the children. So this business that people are always like the children could be on and blah blah blah. I don't expect that they're on right now. They shouldn't be on. I would hope they're somewhere away from social media and they're going through this terrible grieving process. So yes, but it's my understanding he gets into the house and then heads up towards her bedroom, gets in from like the basement. By the way, thank you for any stars for tonight. It's been a very long weekend. I'm not in a bad mood. I'm not exhausted, but I'm just some of the people that come out and they almost act as though there should be a black cloud. No one should talk about the story. Don't report on it. Don't give any details. I don't know what world these people live in. There were people, then climb under your own bed in the fetal position. But people want information. I want to just contend before I go back to the details. I think it would be worse if this happened. I know it would. Imagine if this happened and no one talked about it. Nope, can't find anything in the news, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we've been on it since yesterday morning. I don't understand these people. I don't try to understand. I don't think they have any type of opinion. No one should talk about it. Don't say anything. The kids in the family could find out. What are you talking about? I'd like to think they're busy with other things at the moment. So anyhow, he gets into the house, goes into her bedroom, so wakes everybody up. This is Friday night. Actually, and I'll go to the that guy is a fraud, by the way. Don't put his name anymore. The William Gisnick. He made all that up. I checked into him. I don't understand someone that does something like that. I don't know what motivates someone like that. There's Chris Moran. Contacted me, wanted to interview. Go on his page. I asked for a simple thing to be able to prove it. He couldn't prove it. I don't know what the deal is. Thank you, Nicholas. Yes, I don't get that. Yeah, he was all made up. I'm not even going to try to understand someone like that. And I mean it, you guys. I really would appreciate it. I get the people. He certainly got people's attention. I saw the video. Someone sent it to me. It's all made up. You can't get into his mind. He's a nutcase. Sees something in the news and he tries to inject himself. I don't know what to make of that. But let me just go to the. He is nuts. So let me just go to the state police. So at 11:47, Hopkinton police respond. Potential homicide investigation. So this guy gets in. This Joe Francis. Think of this. They start an argument. He goes into a bedroom. It's my understanding she's sleeping. The two children are sleeping. Teens, right around teenage. One is a teen. The others, I think they're both teens, right around there. And a friend. My God, think of the friend that's over. So anyhow, they start an argument. They end up in the hallway outside of the bedroom. They're restrained. He's not living in the house. Maybe she changed the locks. There's some small door. I don't know. Maybe it's a bulkhead of some kind. I'm not exactly sure, but he got into the house. Ready? Now this is not. If you're not an adult, you don't belong here. If you're a child or family member, you don't belong here. I don't know how to respond to these people that are sending me messages, and some of them are trashing me online. Don't talk about it. No one should. You should be telling me I should be organize a cookout to raise money for mental illness. What are you? We don't even know what happened yet. So anyway, he has a shotgun, and he kills her right in the hallway. outside the bedroom, right in front of the children. They run into the bedroom, right? Lock the door. Now they don't know that he flees. He flees the house. They don't know that. They don't know where he is in the house. They don't know what's going on. They call 911. Police get there. Now they're trying to render aid. My father got into the house, shot my mother. She's in the hallway. Think of the first responders. They have to try to get into the house. It's midnight now, but they don't know where he is. They eventually get into the house with the help of state police, and she's deceased. They get the kids out of the house. Now, there's still another part of the house they have to search. This goes on for quite some time. Then they recognize he's not there, and they are managed to ping and learn that his phone in his car, his SUV, is heading into Connecticut. So I know people in the area of Hopkinton were upset. Why didn't they alert everyone? They felt, okay, he's there. It's not like he took off on foot. It's not like he's roaming the neighborhood. Took off down there. So then they put out, state police did put out, be on the lookout, full description, car plate, everything. Where he went, we don't know. He just horribly shot and killed the wife, Stephanie Francis. Terrible. So sick about it. By the way, when he was arrested in May, there was a no contact order. So I feel terrible for the horror of that woman trying to get away from him, trying to get him out of there, losing his mind. Here's the uh, here's the mother. Terrible. By the way, I've heard great things about her from some of her friends have talked to me. I haven't shared all that. She was very involved with the children. She was very involved in school in Hopkinton. So state police put it out, and then yesterday morning, Westerly police pick up on the plate. So this complete zero, who just took the life of the wife. By the way, and I also heard that everyone that dealt with this Joe Francis, that there was something off about the guy. Totally off about him. And there was some place where he had dealt and worked, and he had like threatened to go in there and shoot up the place. So it's my understanding that they start pursuing him. Now, he was traveling at very, very high speeds. Very, very high speeds, as a matter of fact. This guy was traveling over 120 miles per hour. So, and now here's what else that no one else has told you. I could log on. So, I mean, they had he wasn't on foot. And I want to give credit to the Hopkinton chief who I spoke to, who said, again, if this had been like a crash and then he's on foot. Now, I had been given information that he was crashed the car and escaped. That was not accurate. The television stations were saying, oh, he must have died in the crash. That was not accurate. It's my understanding. So he jumps the median and the car goes airborne. And if you check DePietro.com, I posted the photo of of what the car looked like. But so he's there, right? They stop now, but he is, he's armed and he was driving very erratically, and he has the weapon with him. So he kept getting away from police. That's true. 11 o'clock, Westerly spotted him near on Route 1. He kept getting away. Well, he was driving so fast. Half hour later, Charlestown caught him, and they tried to stop him. Took off again. and then tried to turn down Nooseneck Hill Road. Drove straight down the road, rolled his vehicle. So here's what I've learned is Channel 12 is saying cause of death is pending autopsy. I've learned first responders on the scene that they heard a short pop. So it sounds like he did take his own life as he's trapped there in the car. So that he destroyed. Now, no one else has that, whatever. But I am, I mean, this whole thing was just so horrific. All right, state police saying cause of death pending autopsy. I spoke to someone, a first responder who was there, who told me this afternoon that, and I did put this on DePietro.com, that that they heard a pop. I didn't know that yesterday, right? So last night, first of all, Eric at the Road Patrol Command Center was saying, "Oh wow, that sounds like maybe it must have been a suicide," because you hear, right? We're right there. We can hear the police saying, "I see an arm and it's not moving." So there's David Sammartino, folks. Thumbs up for David, who did such a fantastic job yesterday. I mean, the guy is just so instrumental in the success of this. It's possible. I don't know about that. Yes, thank you, Caroline. Yes. No, it was him. They had not approached just yet, Nick. Nicole. No, it's my understanding that was him. So now I also, folks, a lot of times I shrug off a lot of the criticism. I can't believe, and it also like these people. Oh, you're going in the gutter trying to get details on the guy. Like, what are you talking about? What are we supposed to do? Sit back? What if? And I don't know any of this. What if we learned that the police had been there every night last week? What if we learned that there's a variety of things that we don't know. That maybe there was someone else there. I don't know. There's a lot of different things. Maybe we're going to find there was a pattern that there were other people that he had been threatening. I don't relate to this attitude that these people are going online and bashing me. What do you like when? Like now the story's hot. We know how this works. I know how it works. You know when people are interested? Right now. They get pulled away into other things. I don't know what to make of these people that, and I'm not trying to pay all attention. And obviously that doesn't stop me. I don't relate to it. These messages of people, oh, you're going in the gutter. You shouldn't even be. What if the kid saw this? The kid should not be on my page. Every time I'm at a shooting, you know what the people say? You're gonna take that video down. You don't have our permission. What, the people in the neighborhood don't have a right to know that there's a shooting in the neighborhood? Someone was stabbed? There's a home invasion? What what we do, and I do you heard on Saturday, that was team, is yes, I agree with that, Linda. But that's right, Cliff. But he obviously was not following that. That's exactly right, Nicole. Well, again, if you saw Saturday, it was pouring rain. I want to thank David. Started to explode. We were clearly not only the first ones on the scene, we knew the more details than everyone else. And I don't mean that. It's not a brag. I'm trying to let you know. It's like some people clearly don't understand what we're doing or why, because information is powerful. Obviously, forget about it. All day yesterday and last night, and even this better part of the day, we're the only ones that had who it was, who was involved, and the whole thing. I think so, Lori Ann. This is public right to know. Thank you, Tracy. The I don't. I'll tell you, it does annoy. Oh, he's just going for like. What are you talking about? I'm going for clicks. That was in the pouring rain. I wasn't sure where that story was going. We follow the story. Going for clicks. I had a funny way of going about it. It could have been nothing. Could have been something. Forfeited a Saturday in the pouring rain. I had other things to do. These people are just deranged. If you don't want to know, then don't go, then don't come on my page. I don't get it. We report news. I try to give it to you so because people want to know. Like I don't get these people. So I had this woman, I'll find her name. You should have been waiting till when? Wednesday? They put it out now. Our information is accurate. It's not like it's not. So we should wait till Wednesday. What? What based on what? Wrongo. Public's right to know. No. Adrian Elizabeth. I don't know what's with this people. And then there's other people we had to block. They just decide to use today as like we're just gonna go after them. What? Based on what? Who is this lady? I should be organizing a cookout on mental health. We don't even know what happened. The children and the family should not be on my page. Listen, I'm giving like fair warning. If you have a family member who has a violent death or don't come. First of all, they shouldn't even been following the news, and I fall into that category. Then don't have them go on, whether it's my page or someone else, or Channel 10 or anyone like that. They shouldn't be on that. But you don't. I'm not doing news for the family. The family should be grieving. When we cover a shooting, I'm not doing it for the family members. I'm doing it for the general public. They shouldn't be. Then they shouldn't be. That's all I'll say. All right. I don't mean to focus on that. We have a lot of information. I want to thank David. I mean, I use the word a lot. There was a lot to pull together. Everything we have said has been proven to be true. I want to be very clear. I'm not. It doesn't deter me, but I'm often thrown when. But maybe I shouldn't be. That some people, maybe it's just, yeah, their way to cope. This lady, Adrian Elizabeth, this is a picture of Stephanie Francis with her two children taken a few years ago. So she's posting a picture. Stephanie's a victim of fatal domestic violence, and her husband, who shot her, most likely was troubled by mental illness. We don't know that. While I understand this is news to the John DePietro show, to many, it's all the present reality they escaped from. He doesn't seem to care. Two children lost both their parents and are old enough to read what he writes. They shouldn't be on my page. Instead of looking into the story about them or looking for people who knew the husband to report on his personality. Well, we're investigating. The guy showed up Friday night in Hopkinton and with a shotgun killed his estranged wife in the hallway. What should we be? I think more details are warranted. Juan should use a platform to promote a community cookout. What? What cookout? Or a fundraiser to bring awareness to domestic violence while assisting the families with monetary costs. I don't even know what you're talking about. Is there monetary costs? People need to remember 3 families have been ripped apart by this tragedy. We're just focused on 3 families. Who are the 3 families? Isn't it 2 families? I used to respect his reporting. Now it's just clickbait. What? What are you talking about? Where's the cookout? What fundraiser? We're not going to give any details about was essentially a 12-hour murder-suicide in Hopkinton. You're not adult enough. We're not going to talk about it. We're just going to push this cookout. And then you have these various losers that step in on this page who are then just taking, he's a Rush Limbaugh wannabe. Well, Rush is dead, as a matter of fact. How is this woman being remembered? By using your page to take a shot at me. What? So now they all start. My ex almost killed me. Well, then why don't you talk about that? He's not fact checking. What part? What did we put out that was wrong? The answer is nothing. I'm just going to block this person. I mean, who needs it? Who needs this foolishness? Ridiculous. Get a life. Don't go on the page. I don't know what else to tell you. Maybe I'll actually report the. I'll report it. See if I can get it knocked down. Yeah, that's bullying. Yeah, that's harassment. Good. Let them take action on it. Again, folks, when something happens, when there is, and I'll just use a shooting for an example, if you follow this person's train of thought, you shouldn't be at the scene focusing about the shooting. You should be attempting to promote a fundraiser on the dangers of like, listen, we clearly have different definitions of what news is and news gathering. So thank you, Lorianne. Yes, I know, Tracy. But on top of that, what cookout? Who are the three families? Maybe she was involved with the guy. I don't know. Yes. I can't imagine. Yeah, that's exactly right, Robin. Why isn't she organizing it? What cookout? What are you talking about? Listen, after, just as an example, I know a little bit of how this works. After 9/11, yeah, there was certainly fundraisers and raising money for the victims and everything. But first, you have to figure out the nature of what happened. There will be time for that. I fundamentally, this business of don't put up the news because family members may go on your site. I will repeat, if you are someone who you lose a loved one, whether it's a violent crash, shootings, whatever it may be, you don't go on I'll remove myself. Here's what you don't go on the Channel 12 website and then say they should not have this story. I went on their website, now I'm all upset reading all the details about this. It's for the general public. And I don't share that with you guys. I mean, every all the time when we cover a story, I always hear from people the next day, the day after that. You take that down? Oh, I didn't give you permission for that. Yeah, you were outside my house with blah blah blah. Yeah, you didn't have my. Number one, I don't need it. Number two, it's a news item. I don't know. We don't know where he got them. Maybe he was hiding them. I don't know. We don't know. Possibly. Could be the overnight child. Okay. Yes. Far more the children. And then Stephanie's family, right? Now, okay, his family. I don't know about that. I mean, I guess you want to do that. But there's times for all of that. We're not in that mode just yet. Listen, if after this happens, if there was some kind of a gathering or a memorial, or they were doing something, um, then there is time for that. But you don't call a halt to news coverage because you don't feel anyone should be learning about these things. I don't. Yeah, that's right. I don't follow it. It could be the overnight. I don't know. They don't. That's right, Kathy. Or they shouldn't be. But God forbid, when uh, I mean, when I've talked to people that have gone through something tragic, you shouldn't go on locals. You shouldn't go on social media, and you shouldn't go on news sites to learn about the loved one. And I would just go to listen. This was a very difficult situation for the first responders. I also want to make it clear. It's my understanding. The reason they didn't do a shelter in place is because he was in a vehicle. Now, if he had crashed or if he had run off on foot, let's just say he had escaped from the house on Friday night. Say the police surround the house, but he gets out. Now he's on foot roaming around that area. Well, that would have been maybe a shelter in place. This particular situation, they were able to detect that he was down in Connecticut, so they didn't put it on. As far as the Rhode Island State Police, I will follow up with them. I mean, I think they could have put out, maybe they felt to be on the lookout information they had about the vehicle was sufficient enough. I don't know. I mean, I've seen with Massachusetts State Police, Worcester Police, they do a lot, wanted, and it could be 6 hours old. Massachusetts State Police will put out mugshot, wanted, just involved with a shooting. They go very quickly. Sometimes it's 6 hours ago, 12 hours ago. Contact Massachusetts State Police will contact me. We're putting this out. Can you post this on your page? We know you have great reach. I say yes. We put it out there. I think, again, I want to be very clear. I'm not knocking the law enforcement involved here. I just think they could have used their social media ability a little bit better. State police, I get they want to put out. We were involved with the fundraiser and they're playing basketball or hockey or his fireworks. I get that, but how about this vehicle, this individual is wanted, considered armed and dangerous. If you see him, contact, boom. Now also, someone put, I won't say who, there was no need for a shelter in place. He was only a harm to himself, what this woman put on the page. All right, the number one, timeout. The guy was driving 120 miles an hour. It is actually, I don't want to say a miracle, but this easily could have been, boom, crashed into someone and took out a family, took out several people. That is not this maniac riding with a gun after you've just taken the wife of his spouse. He is not just, that is not someone, if he would just hold up in his home and he had a weapon, and we've covered those, right? The armed standoffs, and they're trying to get him to come out. Now that is someone you could say he's only potentially a potential harm to himself. But the moment you leave the residence, as Eric from the command center, Road Patrol Command Center mentioned and talked about, and then now you're out there, and let alone just the speeds he was driving. No, now you're a danger to anyone he's encountering, including first responders that were chasing him, including, I mean, what if it had been a nice day? It was a Saturday in July, people on vacation, could have been a family. I mean, there's a lot of things that could have gone wrong. I completely disagree with, well, he was only a danger to himself. Well, I don't see it that way. I think he was a danger to a lot of different people with his actions, this guy. So I want to be very clear. I have a lot of respect. The chief in Hopkinton, that's not easy. Chief Carrier, what he's going through. Rhode Island State Police, this was a tough one to put together. I want to be also very clear. I feel very, very strong about how we performed yesterday. If you look at DePietro.com, everything we have, it is all proven to be true. And there's other things I'm telling you tonight that the others don't have yet. So I'm very comfortable with where we are in our news gathering. And let me be really clear. News is a competitive business. It is. So I could sit back like some radio talk hosts who just say, well, it's a weekend. I'll talk about it on Monday or blah, blah, blah. Well, we don't operate that way. I'm independent. I am dependent dependent on people watching, people subscribing, people sending stars. I'm dependent on that. And so how do I prove my worthiness? By being out there in the pouring rain yesterday, by having the story first. I like to know things first. I report news the way that I like the news and to get the news. I don't want yesterday's forecast. I don't need to, oh, okay. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I get a report that the Red Sox lost last night. Not that I'm watching baseball anymore, but I value who gives it to you first. That's why they call it like breaking news. So we were clearly first on the scene. We had more video than anyone. We had more details than anyone. We were so far ahead of the story just the last 12 hours. The rest of the media didn't put out his name till this afternoon, know who it was. Feel very, very, very good about it. And even we weren't sure, did he take his own life? Did he die from the car crash? And then I got it confirmed tonight that they'd heard a small pop. So he popped himself. So, folks, again, understand, not in a bad mood, very happy, very like the way we're progressing now. I'm going to monitor the news for tonight. I still have some other things to work on and upgrade. I'm not, we rode road patrol Friday night. We did road patrol last night, even though I was exhausted from all day Saturday. Now, tonight, if something happens, we're going to be out there live because we have the infrastructure and the personnel that can handle it, and we'll do it. And you saw it on Saturday. It's not even close how far ahead of the rest we were of the story. And let me even go a step further. And I want people to understand this. These idiots that are knocking me online. I'm a wannabe Rush Limbaugh? Why, did he cover crime? Unbeknownst to me. Let me be very clear about this. We're not talking about trying to compete with Pork Boy and the other losers down the dial. Is those the members of Team One? No. Our competition in a situation like this, it's Channel 10 and Channel 12. And admittedly, they have far more resources than we do. But you tell me, when this story hit, who owned and had more of this story in the last 24 hours than these efforts, InVitro.com, our road patrol efforts? We had Eric in the command center, was brilliant yesterday, giving us exactly breaking it down in police lingo. So I want you to know, through all the effort, it's worth it. We play to win. The police have been very complimentary with our efforts. So I feel very good about that. I want you to think I'm not listening to any of those people, but just be very clear. I'm not trying to compete with the Fat Allen show, right? So Cackle sobers up, rolls in tomorrow, and says, "Oh, did anybody hear about what happened?" Like that type of thing. We were on it yesterday. Boom, when it was happening, and further to today. Did I give up my weekend? Pretty much. But hey, it's worth it because it's a big story and you're worth it. And that's when you're an independent, that's what we have to do. All right. If you're not a subscriber to the page, I can't even imagine why you would not be, but you are. All right. Again, just to recap, check the website, dpetro.com. Has everything's accurate, all the video, all the stories, police report, everything, uncensored, unfiltered, boom. If anything happens, we're going to be out tonight. Otherwise, we're back tomorrow for the real news at noon. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for all the stars. Thank you for all the support. Great job covering this story, which was very difficult and demanding. Thank you, Tracy. Yes, folks, you have been watching, I guess, One After Dark.